My weight was something that I struggled with so much. It made me feel so alone. It made me like actually isolate myself. And I just always felt like there's no way that anyone knows how I'm feeling. No one can relate to this, and the fact that the more I share about my most vulnerable thoughts, I share my most vulnerable photos, even though I am hiding behind my phone in most of them because I was just so ashamed.
All this happened for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Modify Your Life podcast, where I'm your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as Heavy to Modified. And here on Modify Your Life, we talk about modifying your life mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually, right? So last week, on Monday, we had our boy Nate on and absolutely crushed it. Can't wait to have him back, and I hope you guys will check that episode because it's always amazing to have someone on here that just, brings more value to weight loss than just my story alone, right? At the end of the day, mine and Modified Frankie's story is always going to be our story. We're always going to share and what we learned and what we overcome and new things we learn to overcome. But to hear other people talk about their stories and their journeys is just an amazing thing, right? At the end of the day, sometimes maybe my story doesn't resonate with you, but maybe Nate's did. And maybe this next person will resonate with you, right? Because we've all, are here to become better and work on ourselves some type of way, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, some of us even spiritually, right? So at the end of the day, when we have guests, when we have people like this, just know that I never bring on anyone that is not a absolute badass, right? So we got our first lady guest of 2025 because Modified Frankie's the co-host, the hostess with the mostest, right? We're almost prepared to get her back on. I've squeezed my pennies enough to get Modified Frankie back on maybe next week. But we got Des. Des was a little bit, she's like, you know what? I'll give you the first time for a discounted rate, but the next time it's like 10,000. I was like, all right, I got you this time. All right, Des. What's up, Des? How are you doing?
You are so ridiculous. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast. I'm so excited.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely honored to be the first female guest on 2025.
Yes, the first female guest of 2025 is you. How does that feel?
I'm absolutely honored.
It's really cool well, first off, I just found out recently that we live in the same facility.
I know, and I've followed you for so long. I can't believe we work out at all the same gyms. We've never ran into each other. We went to the same surgery center. Yeah. Never ran into each other. What?
Everything. It's very, very insane. And I when it clicked. So when I first seen you, not first. Sorry. When everything started to click, is I seen you at Evolution. Mm-hmm. Shout out to AV.
Yeah.
Home away from home, baby.
It's a good gym.
I seen you there. I was like, oh, that's cool. She's on vacation. And then I seen you there the next week. I'm like, damn, that's a long vacation. And I seen her the next week. I'm like, damn, she's rich, right? But then it clicked in, and then I think I seen Rome. He's like, oh yeah, I train. I'm like, oh, and I was like, I don't know why I thought you lived in like Texas.
A lot of people think that. I do work with Buff Bunny Collection that's located in Texas, and I've competed in summer shredding twice, and so over the years, especially since I've been doing social media, I am in Texas often. Okay, that makes sense. Also, too, I was thinking, I need to get like heavy to modified cups or something because I've been, these people don't pay me. I need to, our boss, every other water company wants to sponsor me. But until then, your logos get turned around. Unless we get heavy modified. You should hit up Ultima. Go Ultima Electrolytes, and they have great cups, and it's so easy to drink and makes staying hydration easy.
Shoot, if they are going to sponsor me, then they will get their cups on here. For sure. Ultima. Never trust a woman that drives an Ultima.
Just kidding. I just pissed off all of you. Ultima.
Yeah, no, I just talk crap. I was like crap. But yeah, no, it's amazing having you on here. So, obviously I know who you are, but they don't know, they might not know who you are. If they don't know who you are, then they're going to know who you are. Right? So where does Dez's story start off at before weight loss? We're getting right into it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna try my best to be as concise as possible because I am a talker and an oversharer.
That's good.
Basically, I am born and raised here in Southern California. Originally from Ventura, so an hour north of LA. I've been living in West LA for about a little over 2 years now. And I come from a really big family. I'm a twin, but there's 6 siblings raised by a single mom.
Hell yeah, shout out to mom.
Yeah, absolutely. She's super mom.
Moms are cool.
And I have actually dealt with obesity and being overweight my entire life, and I was always the only sibling that did. I was diagnosed with hypothyroid disease when I was 8 years old. I was already 90 pounds at 5 years old, and I was just double the size of my siblings. didn't matter if I was in the same sports and did the same activities. It's not like I was the one kid that was the couch potato watching Disney, you know?
Yeah.
We were actually really active kids. And even being a heavy kid, my mom was like, well, that doesn't change anything. Like, we're going to keep you active. We're going to put you in every single sport.
Mm-hmm.
And just like that, I grew up being very active, even though I was heavy. I was always the biggest on every team, but I did swim team, water polo, track. I did softball, volleyball, basketball, soccer. I played every single sport. I did hula dancing, ballet, tap. I did a fireman academy. I was always doing something, 16 musicals. I mean, I'm like the extracurricular queen.
Let's go.
And yeah, my mom's always just been like, we want these girls to be well-rounded. There's 5 girls, 1 boy, so we're a very girlish family.
Yeah.
But it's really fun, you know, and I always felt like I had like a lot of community and a lot to do. Like I've always had a very eventful social life because of all of the things I've been involved in. And my family is big enough that, you know, just us being at home, hanging out, it's very social, it's very fun. We're all very close, we're very tight knit. But the one thing that was always true was just the elephant in the room, that I didn't even really feel like I looked like my sisters because of the fact that I was a little over double the size of everyone else in my family. And it was like, it didn't matter how active I was. And every single year as I got older, I only got bigger and bigger. So fast forward into high school, obviously all the becoming aware of how big you are and how different you are from your family and friends, teammates, it becomes stronger as you get older and you start to realize as you're like sitting down on your sister's floor and she's doing your makeup saying, you know what, you're beautiful, but one day, you know, like you're going to want boys like you and like you need to start losing weight. And it was like, how can the people in my family also not realize that this is not out of my control? I'm not doing anything different from anyone else. Like I literally have hypothyroid disease. Like I'm doing everything that I can. I even started my first children's boot camp at 5 years old and like then got into sports after that. So like I was always really active and stuff. And then especially once it got to high school, I was still playing sports for my high school. I was very active, but I was just like very aware of the fact that like I was always going to be like the big girl. And it was always like just, I felt like everything in my life was always so perfect. But if only I were skinny. That's how I would say it in my head, right? Oh, if only I were skinny. I had a really big social life. I mean, I had so many friends at school and I was really involved in my youth group and lots of sports, every extracurricular activity you can think of. And everyone is always telling my mom, like her friends, like anytime we had Christmas or Thanksgiving photos, they're like, oh, your daughter, Desiree, she's so beautiful. If only she could lose a little weight. Oh, she's so pretty for a big girl. That's the story of my life, is those 2 lines right there.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dang, like, do you not also see the other photos of me running on the soccer field? Me in like being the biggest girl on that water polo team, on the swim team, track and field.
Doing
like,
it though. You're still doing it.
I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm the lazy sister, you know? And so I just always struggled with that. Always like, I guess, feeling so misinterpreted. Like,
yeah,
she's
good
think I'm
if
lazy.
she were to do this. Right. If she would be great if she did that. You know, that's very interesting. It's very, very interesting because one, I didn't know that. Obviously, for you guys who may not know, when we have someone on a podcast, I do very little research. Francine does research, but I don't because I want to be shocked just like everyone else is. Because I don't like planned out content. I think it's stupid, right? But, you know, for you to have a full house of, we'll say, skinny people or whatever it might be, right? Proper term is whatever.
Barbie dolls.
And then, yeah, right? Barbie dolls. And you be the heaviest one and you feel like outcast inside your own house is probably damaging.
Yes.
Probably, you know what I mean? Like I could only, because like for me, I was overweight in an overweight house.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so for me, I was used to seeing overweight. Now I would always get like oh yeah, you're fast for being a big guy, or you know, you're looking for being a big guy, or blah 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 for being a big guy. So I get that for sure. But for you, it was like, you know, you were compared to so many different people. I was the oldest of mine at my household, and you know, I was the first child. I was the first child. So you know, I wasn't really compared to too much of anything until I started to get older. When I realized that, I'm not sure if this happened with you because I mean, you're sure your family loves you, but when I made it to, when I realized I was heavy is from school. Like I was the biggest, yeah, I was always the biggest in the room. Like everything, like, you know, like everything was just my weight.
Right.
I was like, oh damn, like it's not normal to be big. But I was so used to seeing overweight people that it was normal to me. But it wasn't normal when you get to school because, you know, kids are just assholes. You know?
Absolutely.
So how was it, you know, how was it being overweight getting into school? Now you obviously have a big, you know, brothers and sisters, you have a full football soccer team at home of brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
How was it like getting into the school? So not your family looking at you a certain way, but like schools, like, do they compare you to your sister or what do they do?
Because I'm a twin, the hardest thing, yes, we're fraternal twins. So that means that we are not identical. We do not look alike. But a lot of people would be like, wait, so you're twins and how come you don't look alike? And I can't tell you how many times in my life the question has actually been, you're twins? Well, then how come she's skinny and you're fat? Like legit, just flat out like that. And even though we don't look alike, I'm blonde haired, blue eyes, I'm 5'3". She's 5'8", almost black hair, brown eyes. Like we do look quite different. And she was always skinny and then I was big. We look a lot more similar now, funny, but our names is what confuses people because it's Destiny and Desiree, and people would remember that it's Destiny because she's like Tiny, the little one, the tiny one, Tiny and Des, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like things like that. But, you know, other than that, to be honest with you, I'm really, really blessed to say that I can't recall a time I was bullied about my weight. In fact, that most people, I get a lot of DMs from people from my high school and my hometown. I come from a small town. Mm-hmm. And I also went to the 3 high schools that are in that small town. So and because of all the things I was involved in, like I know the whole town basically. Yeah. And it's just so funny because I get so many messages from people from Ventura, people I went to high school with, and they're like, you know what's crazy, Des, is I never saw you for your weight. I never saw you like that. And even my family, like they'll be like, Des, like you posted that side-by-side picture of Christmas. When were you that big? I'm sorry, when? Like, I've actually been told a lot, like, I'm not trying to, like, sound like any type of way.
You're good. No, you want to know why you're good? Is because those who follow this podcast, heard 2 podcasts ago where I had my best friend on here, and he's like, I didn't see you as the fat friend.
Okay.
So they're going to get it because I don't go and be like, that's my fat cousin.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't look at like that's my skinny cousin. Like, you know what I mean? So no, that when people have unconditional love for you, whatever, you know, the unconditional love could look like, they don't see that weight.
Totally.
So you don't have to explain yourself. Like we all get it. Like there's not like our aunts wake up to you like, oh, you're fat.
Right.
Like they love you.
I've always just been the bubbly one. I've been the class clown. Like, and it's funny because I'm sure you've had conversations like this too, where that is low key like a big person deflection. Like, you know, being funny, yeah. Or like I'll say something before you can, you know, or. But I didn't even really talk like that. Like I didn't like make like fat jokes about myself, but you know, I was extra bubbly, extra friendly. I always say there's no such thing as strangers, only friends I haven't made yet. Like just talk to me for a second. We will vibe in like a minute, you know? And it's just funny because I just never, I guess, was really seen as like someone and like bullied in that way, just because I think of like my guess like loving nature and friendly personality. Like it wasn't something that stopped me from that in my social life. But I will say internally, that was all I identified myself as was the big one. Or if something didn't work out for me, that's what I put the blame on. I was like, oh, I guess that would have happened if I was skinny.
So,
you know,
it was your coping mechanism, being funny, being bubbly. Not saying you didn't like sports.
Always
not
doing my hair, always doing my makeup.
Well, that was your coping. Like, so
absolutely.
So I mean, it's the same. I was thinking, I was like, well, you're very different story, but it's the same. It all leads into the same pipeline, right?
Yes.
My Camaro hid how I looked. My, the car I drive hid how I looked. Sorry, I'm actually not being an asshole, but you know, this freaking logo thing keeps on changing on me. For those of you who are watching the video form, you're like, yo, this guy's over here promoting Netflix right now, but I'm definitely not. We're trying to figure out how to get this thing stayed up on the screen. But anyways, technical difficulties. We're back. All right, ready to go.
Does it sound like my voice is shaking? Because I'm like all of a sudden shivering.
No, you're good. Are you cold?
I'm so cold.
Are you anemic?
Yeah.
Oh, welcome to freaking hell. Because I have sweat rolling down my butt crack right now.
In case you guys didn't know, we're filming today in an igloo.
You want to give her a blanket? Give her the blanket.
No, it's okay. I'm totally fine.
No, this is a comfortable podcast. 90% of the people aren't even watching the video for them. They're just listening.
Oh, really?
So if you want a blanket, get a blanket. And yeah, we want to edit this out 100%. This all stays in. I love this stuff. People, I like keeping it real. Like, yeah, it's so fun. But
you like keeping it real chill.
Yeah. Yes, look at her. She's comfortable now. But it's one of the it is like 60 degrees in here. Me and Nate are happy right now.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, it's too hot. He was still sweating through the seats. But
I need the link to this blanket.
Yeah, it's smooth, right? Francie has the best. Francie's also one of your anemic friends, so she'll definitely guys could both have anemic conversations together. But get into it is that like I was trying to see like where you're like I was like, damn, this girl's life sounds amazing, right? But no, it doesn't make sense. So a lot of that stuff was coping mechanism, and I thought I was gonna have someone that did have a different outlook on being overweight growing up, but yours the same. Internally, you didn't feel that way.
I hated myself for it.
Yeah, and I was the same way. So there's people that I got the like. People see me. You couldn't miss 400, 500, 600-pound guy, right? I get that. But like people that would listen to my podcast that know me since elementary school, people, my family, Francine, were like, you never gave off that impression that you were dying inside. And I was like, why? You know what I mean? Like what good it wouldn't have done anything, right? Like that was my coping mechanism. Me having a smile on, me being there for people more than I'm there for myself. But internally, or when I got home, I wasn't happy. You know what I mean? And it wasn't a good feeling. It wasn't a good look. It was very uncomfortable. We could go on and on.
Yeah.
Right.
Earlier,
so, go ahead.
I was gonna say how earlier, you mentioned like just dealing with like the word comparison, that just like struck a chord because I legit feel like so deeply when I think about my childhood and just like my upbringing into high school and college, I mourn the time lost of my actual childhood and just like my life to the amount of comparison that I lived in, especially just to people in my own family, my sisters,
Mm-hmm.
and to people on the teams in my classrooms. Like, it's like crazy how I know I had a very eventful, fun, social life and childhood, but when I think about it, like the first thing that I do think about is just how much I lived in this mindset of comparison and how sad that is. Like I feel like I lost my life to it, which is why when I started my weight loss journey, it felt like I was living for the first time.
I get you.
Yeah.
I relate with that so much. I feel like, well, they say it. The comparison is the thief of joy.
Thief of joy.
So I would do something, and if I didn't go through, it was because I was fat.
1000%. That's exactly what I was just saying.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like if this person did ignore me, or this person was a jerk to me, or blah blah blah, it was because like they judged me off my body. Or before I started dating Francine, if the girl didn't want to go out with me, or she was good enough to be my friend but not my girlfriend, it was because I was a good guy to be a friend. But we all know why. It wasn't not because I had a nice car. I made money, at a young age, in high school. But it was the one factor that was an end all for any girl. Majority of the girls in high school, because I had girlfriends in high school, but majority of the girls was he's fat.
Right.
And because he's fat, he's not okay to date.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, obviously, as we get older, that some of that stuff starts to change. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, in high school, it's not there. In elementary or junior high, it's not there. And in college, it's not cool. It's like not cool to be the fat guy. You know what I mean? So I definitely get it. You know what I mean? So I would be pretty frustrated. But something that I look back at now was like I was so frustrated, but I didn't change. You know what I mean? Because my uncle Dave, passed away. We used to have his ashes somewhere up here, but we ended up changing the whole podcast setup. He told me the same thing that your sister would tell you. Like one day you're gonna start liking boys, or someone told you. And my uncle told me like, oh, you're gonna start liking girls, mijo. You're not gonna want to be overweight. And he was 100% right, because it was a lot harder to get a girlfriend at being overweight. It was harder to get my first kiss. I'm not saying none of that stuff. I didn't get any of that.
Right.
But it was a little bit more work than maybe a skinnier dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so how was it like growing up being overweight as a woman? Because I don't know how it is as a woman. I only know as a man.
I mean, definitely really hard, especially when I feel like I've always been someone who, like anyone that I did, like especially get in a relationship with or kind of start dating, especially, I didn't even like have my first like boyfriend until I think I was 17. But even into my college years when I started dating, and it was like 1 year specifically, I literally, it just seemed like every single kind of thing I started, I would get told how, you know what, Des, like you seriously are like the type of girl I want to marry, but, and it's like, none of these excuses are actually what's going on. It's because I'm 300 pounds and that's fine. You could have said that a long time ago.
Yeah, it's the good old but. I'm so, you know, it's so interesting, right? Because you don't see it from the opposite sex side. So I'm thinking like, oh, girls got it easy, overweight or not. But you're over here like, guys got it easy, overweight or not. But it's like, no, we both had our same like struggles. Like,
Right.
We get the good old like, but like you're good, but this. I like you, but this. You know, but we're great friends. You know, or whatever it might be. But it's a simple thing that we all knew what it was. It was because we're fat. There's no other things. Like if someone's gonna give you 10 different compliments and say one thing that's a negative, then I'm pretty sure it was that the negative overpowered all the 10 other positive things they've said about you.
Right. You know, it's kind of, this is, I don't even know if I could like verbalize this entire thought, but like my sister and I talk about this a lot. And when I'm talking to her about, you know, like my life before like my weight loss journey, we call it like the big girl compensation. Like this is what I did as a big girl to overcompensate for XYZ. And the more I, you know, share online about certain things and I realize, oh, it wasn't just me. Like this is something that big girls do. And any girls out there, let me just tell me if you can relate to this. But big girls are the best girlfriends because of the overcompensating. Man, you will cook everything for your man. You will pay whatever you want for your man. You will do every single thing and you will treat him like a king. And then there is nothing that hurts more when in the end you're not chosen because you know, and you know it's only because of your weight, because there's no way that everything that you do is not what would get a ring on your finger, you know? And
yeah,
I just feel like that was just like low key, like the name of my game when it came to like dating. Like I was always what I feel like. Even I remember specifically being told like, you know, like I love the way you cook. I love the way you decorate and keep your home. I love the way you make me feel. But it's just like, but what? Like,
but it's your weight, right?
Yeah.
Because it was my weight, it was your weight. It's all the other people that are listening to this, and I love the overcompensation, right? Because it's true. It's 100% true. With being overweight, you do have to overcompensate. You do have to make sure that you're in reach. You have to make sure you're a good boyfriend, you're a good girlfriend. You know, if a skinny guy holds the door once, you got to hold it 10 times. Right, if a skinny person or, you know, better looking person, whatever it is, you know, physically, mentally, whatever you want to call it, you know, text twice a day, you got to text 5 times a day.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If you go on a date, you got to make sure it's a better place. Like it's 100% with there because like for me, it was like the days I was going on was like trying to blow over girls, you know, mind like, oh man, this is a person, but there's no kissing in the day. And then my other buddies going to freaking McDonald's, all of a sudden, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I know what it was. We're not stupid. Right, it hurts, but we're not stupid.
Right.
So you know, the overconversation is 100% a real thing because you know, let's be honest. When someone sees us, they don't see your heart; they see your exterior. Right. So they don't know that you're a good cook or you're a good person. You can make a good mom or a good husband or whatever it might be. They just see good looking and fat, or just fat, whatever it is. They
black
don't. They black. It's very black. It's very black and white. And me and Frankie had this conversation. Is that like, you know, things are black and white as much as it shouldn't be, but it's life, right? It shouldn't be, but it's life. When you see someone that's overweight, you think that they're lazy. You think that they are a bad person, not bad person, but they're just lack of discipline, lack of this. They have nothing to offer. That's not true. I was the same person at 650 pounds. My exterior just looks different. Yeah. So I have respect a lot more. When me and Frankie go out and sit down at tables, no one stares at us as couples. We're just two normal couples. Now we see them staring at other couples, right? We're the normal couples. right? We're the ones that look to the part that should be in a restaurant and don't get judged for anything. I have never in the last 3 years, no one that's not joking with me has ever said, "Damn, you're gonna order that."
Of course
No
not,
one has told me
right?
that the last 3 years. No one has told me, "Damn, you're gonna eat that. Damn, you're gonna order that." But when I was overweight, everything I could order a salad, and they're like, "Wow, that's a lot of ranch."
There will be a comment
There
made.
will be a comment about my food, or you're gonna eat that, or you're not gonna eat more.
Or good for you.
Or yeah, but now it's like they don't like. I could order fucking 10 pizzas in front of me, like gotta feed those muscles, big dog, right? But I order that when I'm fat. They're like, "That's why you're fat. You got gelatinous titties." But now it's just very interesting. So what about you? Like, do you notice a difference of like the respect that you have as a lady being out there with a body? Because I know for a fact that is a lot different than a girl being overweight than a guy. Because and it might piss people off. Hopefully I'm looking at my manager right now, and hopefully he isn't. But at the end of the day, I personally feel that a man brings, like comfort, and provides and stuff like that. And a woman takes care of the household and brings a beautiful face. Guys aren't good looking. I don't think a guy's body is good looking. I think a woman's body is good looking, right? And I think there's girls agree that guys' bodies are not good looking.
That's
like
such
girls,
a guy thing to say.
No, but like I think but the girls do too. Like girls, be like, oh yeah, like girls' body is way better than. I'm like, I agree with you. Like I don't want to see a guy, good looking or not. I don't want to see a guy. You know what I mean? But I just say like a woman brings comfort at your home, and it de-stresses your life and brings a beautiful body, a beautiful person, a beautiful soul. So,
I personally think that that's my actual job in life.
I'm glad, because I was about to say, oh man, the feminists are about to go ham right now. They're about like, we don't need a man or whatever it is, right? That's not the type of podcast.
My biggest wish is to hopefully be that for,
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, okay, I'm glad we agree. So now that you're how was it before you were this version of yourself?
Okay, well, like, honestly, I would love to tell you it's like been sunshine and rainbows, like just having this whole new life.
That's a boring podcast.
Right.
Feel free to cry. I mean, whatever.
Interesting. No, I'm just kidding. No, the interesting part is that, so it's not that I'm still overcompensating. It's just that, yeah, I'm a little glam and I'm a little extra. So I still do my hair and makeup. I still have the big personality. There's nothing that's changed.
Yeah. Francine noticed that. She's like, oh, she does herself up. She was talking you up.
Oh, girl.
She don't hype me up like that.
Oh, I love you. Yeah, and it's funny how now that, so when I was bigger, it was like, whether it was like, the backhanded comments like, oh, you're really pretty for a big girl. Wow, like you dress really cute for a big girl. Or I still got attention for a big girl. Like, has a lot of friends and still like, did my best to feel like a normal person and wear what was still trendy and stuff. But you lose 160 pounds and you still do your hair and makeup as glam as I do on a mostly daily basis, then it's just conceited. And I'm so full of myself and I'm so cocky. And
wait, quick question
I'm
though.
still misinterpreted.
To cut you off. Who's saying that though?
Oh.
Wait, no. Be honest.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Who's telling you that now you're cocky?
Get ready to pick your jaw up off the floor.
Yeah, I know who says it.
No, it's people either in my family, not my closest friends, but friends, people from my hometown. They're like, oh, she got conceited. She got cocky. And it's like, I thought you knew me better than that. But the majority of it is people online who have never met me and don't know me. And
they're probably overweight.
That as well.
Say it.
You click on the profile.
I get the most hate from overweight people now. Overweight people. I'm like, hello, I'm a coach. I'm a weight loss coach. You know what I mean?
When I get these negative comments and I click on the profile, yes, it is either someone who is overweight or it's a completely no-name profile.
Oh yeah, well those people are just at home living in their mom's basement, got Cheeto dust in their belly button.
But
living off of
exactly
the government. But whatever.
But it's really hard being so misinterpreted. Like I actually I really wish I would. It tears me up.
Well,
like,
what do they say? What do they say? Walk on water. They'll say it's because you can't swim, right? So it's like you get done up. It's because you're overcompensating because you're fat. Now you get done up. It's because you're just overcompensating to show off. Like
because I'm so conceited.
But hear me out though. There's no winning.
No.
Right? Because at the end of the day, the people that are telling you that you get done up, that you've changed, are people that see a better version of you and are mad they stay the same.
She changed so much after her weight loss.
Hell yeah. Fucking good job. You're not 300 pounds anymore.
Right.
Good job. It's probably easier to wipe your butt.
I was like, I do.
It's easier for me.
I wear the actually like same makeup products. Like it's like some of this stuff is not different at all. Like I crack the same jokes. I make the same puns. Like nothing here has changed.
No, people
It's so
just
weird.
no, people are just what I've learned in my life, right? What I've learned is that people are just miserable. And miserable people do miserable and say miserable things, and there's nothing we could do about it, right? At the end of the day, it's all about us being happy. It's about that one person you inspired. That's what got me to follow you. I don't follow a lot of weight loss people, and there's some people in the weight loss community I've unfollowed and I don't just mute them. I unfollow them. Then why'd you unfollow me? Is I don't like your content anymore. Your content became trash. Oh my gosh!
Right.
Shout out to Netflix. You see here, right? And I unfollowed you for a reason because at the end of the day, I don't like fake people. 2, I don't like people that are not, I personally feel are not authentic to their self.
Yeah.
And 3, I don't know, I just don't like corny content. I don't
Absolutely.
like corny people that I feel like are putting down people and forgetting maybe where you started and maybe where you came from, and it's like making like, gutter content and making fun of certain guys or girls when we were them. We were made like nothing worse than the bully or the person that got bullied become the bully.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think like just being as authentically yourself is the most important thing that we can do with our platforms on social media. And that takes me back to what you were asking earlier is like, how is it different, especially being a girl who's lost weight? Like, how is your life different? Like, especially when it comes to, dating or guys or just meeting people, it's like you as a former big person and like you just pick up on other people's inauthenticity so quick. Like, like if I was like single and like some guy, like, I wasn't always the girl that would get approached. Like, sure, I got some attention when I was a big girl, but like if I was like now at a bar and a guy comes up to me or something, I just cannot handle like this like certain vibe, like, oh, like I have like a very small tolerance for like cocky guys and like big egos, and it's just like I might look like the type of girl who might like that, and like that I've literally been told that, like, and that's why I'm like explaining this right now. But like I come from a whole different like weight loss journey. My heart hits a little different than most girls in this bar, and you will not know that. And I simply am not gonna have like a conversation with you because I could just tell this is not it. And it's just like
no fluff. Like you've already been there. I'm curious. I want to ask this question, because I do see a lot of I don't think I've seen guys say this, but I do see a lot of ladies say this. A lot of weight loss people on finished transformations, whatever, if we're ever finished, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will say like, oh, I was getting all the guys when I was overweight. Do you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't think answered. That was answered. I hate that.
I do too. First of all, I feel like that kind of stuff is just like a little too, that I can't talk like that. Like that's just like too much.
Yeah. But we know it's not true.
No.
Because, okay, so, and we know this is why we know it's not true.
Some attention, but like how, like you got it like that. It's not like you got in the relationship. You didn't get the ring. Yeah. It's like.
You got the attention for a second.
You know what? Let me tell you this. And this is something that me and my sister have talked about a lot. So I'm not really into like dating apps or anything, but in 2016, like before I had my weight loss surgery, I had this one tiny little 3-month era where I was on a couple dating apps. And then my sister found out and she told everyone, and I deleted it because I was so embarrassed because she thought it was like so like just grimy or whatever. And I was like, I'm sorry. My friend like made it for me. And it was so stupid. But the thing is that I felt like being a 300-pound girl on these dating apps, I got a ton of those matches and stuff. But the thing is that all of those men just had big girl fetishes. Did they want a girlfriend? No. They wanted an experience. And I was shocked. I think I was like so deeply disgusted by dating apps and just like how the way that men will just message you off the bat. I'm in the first sentence as a 300-pound girl with all of their like little kinks and what they think is cute and flirty, and it's just creepy and gross and like not polite, high-key disrespectful. A man probably would not come up to me or DM me half the things that they did when I was 300 pounds.
Now it's more, you're beautiful, would love to take you out, more respect. Wow.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I think it's safe to say you get more respect being in shape, in a shape body. I've gotten some weird things from some dudes out there. I've gotten some interesting DMs from some dudes out there. I don't know if I give off that.
What?
Yeah, no. I showed Francine. I was like, hey, you better treat me right because this guy will. This guy will take care of me.
If he wanted to,
they got a skin and they want to. Not too long ago, and this guy offered to buy me a drink. I said, hell yeah. I took the drink. No one offered to buy Francine a drink. Someone bought me a drink. I was like, hey, shoot.
You got to get my other half.
Hey, that guy was in a suit, so he made money.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So I can only imagine the scumbags. I've had some interesting DMs from dudes. Never girls. I mean, though I've got more vulgar than dudes. I'm like, do I think? Never mind. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I honestly don't really. I mean, I have a 5% male following, so I honestly it's not really a big thing in my life.
Yeah.
But and I wouldn't even go near a dating app.
Yeah.
But back in the day when I was 200, I can't believe the way that I never could get in a full actual relationship. Right before my actual weight loss surgery, when I was getting ready to really start my journey, though, I was in a relationship that lasted for about 2 years, a year before my surgery and then a year into it. It didn't end up working out, but great guy, and he actually locked it in with me. But before that, it was just fail after fail after fail. It was none of my relationships go anywhere, and of course it left me saying, I bet it would have if I were. I was gonna say,
do you think it's because your weight?
Absolutely.
You think it's good? Yeah. So I got pretty lucky. Let me say, there's luck, yes, but I was blessed.
Yeah.
Me and Frankie came in. She was probably 160 when she started. 190? Damn, girl. No, I'm just kidding. She was 180 when we, whatever. But then, so I definitely helped her put on 100 pounds, being with me.
That's what love does.
You know what I mean? Yeah. For 100, though, that's a lot. I mean, 10. But I put on 3, so I blame her. But whatever it might be. So I was pretty blessed to have someone that was, in my circle. But I do think that it only worked because she loves me so much. So the year of let's find out my grandpa had cancer and me moving out, intentionally but unintentionally, it turned into just staying there because he wanted me to take care of him instead of the hospice. And then I stayed a little bit longer after passed away, and then I started my weight loss journey. Mm-hmm. So realistically, for the last 3 years, I've been pretty absent of a relationship. And what I mean by that is not that we don't hang out, not that we don't talk. It's just I've been focusing on me. But because she loves me so much, she allowed me to focus on me, and she focused on herself, and we built this. Now, I'm not saying that it's been easy, but I did let her know because things change, right? And the reason why I know we're unhappy, and people are going to hate to hear this, right? And I'm pretty sure you'll probably agree. The reason why I know that no one wants to be overweight is because as soon as I started losing weight, I wanted my girlfriend to lose weight. So if no one cared about being overweight people and I love your body for who you are, then I would never want her to change. By the end of the day, I realized I gave her the best version of myself, and I expected her to give me the best version of herself. And the best version, you giving the best version of yourself, is not only physically, but it's mentally, emotionally, right? And she couldn't do that if she has so much hatred towards herself. Mm-hmm. So she had to go on her own journey.
I really love how you said that.
So thank you. And I believe it because I've watched it, and I've watched us separate and then get back together.
Yep.
I watched us separate and get back together. What I mean by that is I would leave, and then I would push her. I'll let her do her own thing, and then she would follow. Mm-hmm. And then I would, but I've always told her hey, if you don't want to do this anymore, you still have to be my business partner. You got to be my manager or something because I don't trust anyone like I'm gonna trust you. But she loved me so much that it started off because of me, and now it's because of her. Right. And
you
that
guys
right
are
there,
seriously my new favorite couple as of lately. And I think it's really cool to watch the way that you lead. As a man, I think it's really, really cool to see. And Frankie is just seriously the most perfect little ride or die for you.
She is. She 100%.
I love your guys' growth. I think it's so cute and just goals.
Yeah. It's capable for anything, right? It's understanding this. It takes someone to lead. And it also takes someone to follow, but it takes a lot of watering in between, right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, think about this. When you plant the seed of weight loss, you've never done watering it. There's probably been a lot of trauma you've had to let go. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of, animosity towards your family you've had to let go. There's been a lot of animosity probably towards yourself you had to let go, because I know
Absolutely.
I'm still working on some things. When I had Nate on the podcast, I told, like, I'm still, like, look at other people that did me wrong and was like, look at you. You're fat with 3 kids. But I should act like that, but I'm a human being, and I'm honest enough to say that it does feel good to be like, well, you missed out.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I know I shouldn't be like that, but for what it is, I'm going to be honest to be a human being. Now, I'm not, like, checking on people's stuff every single day, but it is always good to know that, like, the underdog won.
Absolutely.
Right?
We love a good underdog story.
Right? We love a good underdog story. So, like, who you are today, right, obviously is built from who you were, right? So what does life look like for you now?
I mean, after so my weight loss journey, that's kind of, when I started my weight loss journey, I'd say that my entire life kind of changed. For anyone watching who doesn't know a little bit more about my story, I was 300 pounds and I lost 160, but I did have gastric bypass surgery, and that's kind of what kickstarted my weight loss journey. And about 7 years out from that. But the year that I got my weight loss surgery, I was going to school in Beverly Hills for ultrasound, which I did complete the school. I have 4 degrees. Always thought I'd be working in a hospital. But the year that I finished school is also the year that I got my gastric bypass, started my online diary, which turned into a platform I never thought would see anyone's, like, my pictures. I never thought would, like, I never wanted people to see those.
Same.
I was only going to connect with other bariatric people, to kind of just connect and, like, feel like I was learning from other people along this journey, especially because when I went to that support group from my actual surgeons, everyone was at least 30 to 40 years older than me. So I was like, all right, Instagram, this is where I'm going to find community. And I totally did. And I, just kept on kind of posting my progress. I used it like almost like a digital diary. And I had made it 2 months after my weight loss surgery, and in exactly 10 months I had hit 10K. It was a brand new Instagram page, and it grew pretty quickly. And then the following year, after I lost 160 pounds and I wanted to explore my options for my loose skin removal and getting implants, I was laid up in bed in recovery, and I had just graduated my ultrasound school. I'm all in my bandages, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to go back to working my part-time jobs, and so I started sending out DMs. To one of those DMs was Buff Bunny, and I got a response. Started my very first brand partnership with an athletic wear company, and then from there I just kept on shooting my shot with brand after brand, and now I've been doing that full-time for 7 years.
I really hope everyone heard that. This girl went from being the heaviest one in the family and in her circle to now working with the athletic brand. Like,
right,
you know what I mean? Like,
crazy.
sit here and tell me what's possible, what's not. I'm going to sit here and tell you that you're lazy, right? Because now, I mean, I want to be a model. Shoot, they took pictures of me in Hollywood. I was like, shit, sign me up. Put me on Vogue.
It is, yes.
But that's amazing. Like, and it's all it's so funny because me and you have the same story when it comes to social media. I didn't want to be on social media. I did not want people. I always tell people I'm known for being fat. Right. That was like not what anyone ever wants to do in life, right? Is be known for being fat. Now it's the biggest blessing in the world, right? But what I'm saying is that I didn't expect my first video to go viral. Like Francine and Daniel told me to post it. I said no and ended up doing it. I looked away from my phone. Next thing you know, I wake up with was it 80,000, 100,000 followers?
Wow.
Huh? I woke up with 300,000 views or followers? Followers. We got 300,000 followers. I think it's 100,000. The views was 300,000. We had a million.
Wild.
Another million the first night. It was whatever it is. It was a lot. It was a lot, and I wasn't prepared for it. And everyone probably is going to, everyone asks you this question. Everyone asks me this question. It's like, oh, well, how do I do what you did? And like, all I could tell them was like, one, don't fall for these fake ass gurus and just post.
Right.
Because you didn't mean to end up, you worked, you earned it, but you didn't know what you were earning. You were just working on yourself and working on your health in your life.
Totally, yeah. And I was just like trying to build community around it. And one thing's for sure is that once I kind of started having fun with, posting on my page, I was like, every single week I'm gonna make a hashtag Transformation Tuesday post, and I would tell everyone like, this is my Transformation Tuesday Christmas edition. Look, this is me Christmas at 300 pounds, and this was me Christmas this year, finally down 80 pounds, and side by side photo, tag me in yours, and use hashtag Transformation Tuesday. And I feel like that's kind of how I started building my online community was just literally finding a way to find other people who are on a transformational journey. It doesn't even have to be weight loss necessarily, but anyone who's going through or wanting to make some sort of transformation and change in their life, I feel like that's who I've been able to connect with the most. And it has been so cool. And when I think about when I was going to school to be doing ultrasound, I really wanted to, be a part of that really big chapter of women's lives, and just I've always like had the heart to serve, especially women, and be on like that personable. Ultrasound is a very personal field in the medical field, and especially sometimes women can be really nervous. You don't know if your pregnancy's going okay, and I've always kind of had this calming and also friendly type of like energy. So I knew that could translate well in the medical field. And I've done a few missions trips in other countries doing medical related things. And I always loved it. But it's crazy how now doing what I do online and connecting with the women that I get to, my weight was something that I struggled with so much. It made me feel so alone. It made me like actually isolate myself. And I just always felt like there's no way that anyone knows how I'm feeling. No one can relate to this, and the fact that the more I share about my most vulnerable thoughts, I share my most vulnerable photos, even though I am hiding behind my phone in most of them because I was just so ashamed and I wish that I wasn't. But it took growth to be able to continue sharing, but being able to connect with women on something that is the most painful part of like my life, that self-hatred that I lived in due to my weight, feeling like the number on the scale is what defined my worth. The fact that I get to connect with people like nothing else really has given me so much like sense of purpose, and I'm just so beyond grateful, and I feel so blessed that I've been given this platform and like the space to be able to share. And I do love sharing the ups and the downs because there are ups and downs. It's not like life is perfect after losing weight and stuff, but there is like hope and things to change and like grow and learn from. And like if I could be a part of people's journey getting there and getting out of that dark space, then I'm exactly where I need to be. And I'm so grateful. I can't believe that, just sharing my weight loss journey and having like making the decision to even get weight loss surgery. I thought that was crazy. I had no idea if it was gonna work. I thought I was gonna be like the one person it wasn't gonna work for.
And look at you.
And it worked.
Look at us. All of us. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where it could have went the other way, but because you decided to put in the work, it didn't. We always have the option for things to work out. Things in our control. Sorry.
Right.
For things to work out. I just feel like, I say this a lot, is that the separation from winner or loser is a work in between. Right. So the separation from you in your surgery and someone else in their surgery, them winning or them failing through the surgery, is the work that you put in. Because let's be honest, I know a lot of people that have the weight loss surgery that have gained the weight back. We actually just went to TJ, when the doctor one of the doctors that worked in the same facility as me and Frankie. He said that, a lot of those people he had surgeries with, but then that same time of like their turn that same time, have all gained that weight back, and they're they all did revisions.
All right.
They're like, so it's so inspiring to see what you guys have created.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Now, at the end of the day, there's nothing different between me and anyone else, and you and anyone else, and Francine and anyone else. Right? The only thing is different is like we just were fed up. We're tired of it. We took something, we used a tool, we utilized it, we got it work done, and that's it. Now we put on muscle, done bodybuilding shows. And like, by you just be able to post that and share that to so many people out there, it's inspiring, right? And it's so crazy. It's kind of sad, but it's crazy that it's sad because we live in a world that we have to inspire people to do the right thing. But also at the same time, it's we had to also get ourselves to do right. So not really judging, but at the end of the day, we're just doing the right thing, right? And that's what I tell my clients, like, I'm just a coach that's just getting you to the right thing. I'm just trying to bring the right thing to light.
Right.
Right. I'm trying to get you to realize that the life that you're living, you're lying to yourself that you're happy, and I want you to fix it. I want you to understand that your kids want you here, your family wants you here, you want yourself here. So like, how do we get it done?
Right.
So I'm just coaching people to do the right thing and make the right decisions. And that's exactly what you're doing, because you're now supposed to be moving forward with your coaching and your podcast, right?
Yes.
And look at everyone, I'm calling her out right now because she said that she wants to do this whole setup. So the one reason, let's click it to the full screen right now. So the reason why we took down the Heavily Modified logo and we put the screen here is because I want people to come up here and start their own podcast. I want people to put their logo, change up this thing, and be able to rent this out from us and be able to, do what they need to do with it. So, I mean, you're more than welcome to come over and start it, because I support that more than I support a lot of things on social media, because I know the real you, and you actually want to help people.
Right.
And we do need more coaches like that. If I had $1 for every single time I've been contacted by someone who got used and took advantage of someone who had a big following and got coaching and paid for coaching and got no results. And when I'm saying no results, I'm talking about just not getting contacted back. We would be rich.
Right.
I'd have McLaren already.
2.
Sorry, Huracan. Sorry, I changed my car, guys, to Huracan. We're Huracan STO. So we're getting right now. I'm calling out, planting the seed right now. Right. And so like I called you out and I said that out loud because I'm a big fan of planting seeds. I love planting
that,
seeds.
and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I love planting seeds, but it's up to you to water it, right? I plant the seed for someone, but you can never, I can never.
I got to be the farmer.
You got to be the farmer, right? You got to go out there and water it. You know what I mean? And turn it, and you got to grow it into something big. But I mean, I honestly mean this, that people like you need to speak up more, and you guys should have platforms, and you should share the stuff, and you should talk about your journey and the insecurities and what it brings, because as much as we don't know it, we're speaking to our future versions of ourselves. And what I mean by that is not our personal future versions of ourselves. We're talking to people that are going to be the next Des, going to be the next Heavy to Modify, the Modified Frank. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So we're speaking to those people. So imagine if Anthony Lopez, before Heavy to Modified, had a Heavy to Modify to listen to. Or a Des had a Des to listen to.
How much sooner would he get started?
Exactly. Maybe you would have heard the right thing, seen the right post. Maybe you would have responded back to a DM, whatever it is, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, I think that someone like myself and yourself and so many other people out there that has overcome a battle that a lot of people lose to, I think we're doing a disservice to the people in our community by not speaking.
Absolutely.
So that's why I said I make no money with this podcast. I've spent probably, as of today, roughly around $20,000 from equipment to podcasts, multiple podcasts.
Why do you think I haven't started yet?
You know what I mean? All this stuff is, and top of line everything. And I make no money off this. My views on YouTube make me like maybe $3-4 maybe with the vlogs, maybe make $100 a month on YouTube. I haven't really hit it hard yet. This is my year to hit it hard, right?
Absolutely.
But I do it because the DMs I get from my clients.
Yeah.
I do it because the DMs I get from people that listen. I do it because the response that I get from people who actually take their time and spend 30, 40, 60 minutes and like, holy crap, I needed to hear that. And I feel that the money's going to come. The money will come when we do the right thing,
Absolutely.
right? I feel it's going to come in abundance.
Yes,
if you give it, in tenfold, if you give an abundance, right? And give with purity, right? I'm not having you on this podcast because I know that your followers are going to follow me. I'm having this podcast because you're going to bring value to my clients. I do this for my clients. Everyone else who listens is just a plus.
Right.
My clients love this stuff. They're like, can you bring the podcast back? I was like, I'm working, guys. I'm working hard. I'm working hard.
It's funny that you say that because like literally my goal is to get my coaching all settled and finished up.
We're going to.
Because I've done coaching before, but I want to get my actual certification. That way I can do all of it, But my actual goals are to be able to be like, all right, clients, make sure you listen on your 20-minute cardio session today on today's podcast. Yeah. I want a little double whammy.
Yeah, I love that. No,
yeah.
and I'll talk, and sometimes I'll share stories of that. I'll never use their names, but they're like, Coach, you talked about, and I'm like, yeah, because
I love that.
I can never run out of content. I can never run out of stories, have conversations, because I'm literally surrounded by people like you and my clients who want to win, right? And like, this is what it's for. And like something that I said, when I had Nate on the podcast, I said that at my core, my happiness is seeing other people happy.
Yeah, me too.
That is like at my core. Now, it could be because I just like was such addicted to so many people when I was overweight and unhappy. But I also personally feel that it makes me happy to see other people happy. Like it really does. Like, I love it. And like, even though like it was a coping mechanism before, it's something that I wouldn't change. It's not a coping mechanism because I don't need to hang out with you. I don't need you to like me. I don't need anyone to like me. Especially if you don't want to like me, shit, bye. Get out my way. You can eat, but not at my table, right? But it makes me happy making other people happy. It makes me happy when I just showed, the text like, Coach, I needed this podcast. And I know it sounds so cliche and corny because so many people like talk about it and they don't really do it, but I'm generally meaning from the bottom of my heart, I would spend another $20,000 to keep this podcast running, just because I know the right people have heard it. I can only imagine how many people have started their journey, continued their journey because of something I or you had said. Do you get what I'm saying?
1000%.
So,
and just like how you said, like just a couple minutes ago, like, oh, what would before Anthony Lopez have thought if he had this as a resource? I don't remember there being stuff like this when I was, 300 pounds. And especially when it came to like looking for other people who are on a bariatric journey, there were a couple. But like, had there been someone who was really hitting it on the podcast, really like doing vlogs and video on YouTube, it would have been really helpful and made me feel less alone. And I love that we can relate to finding that fulfillment and purpose. Like our life purpose literally is like part of it is becoming that person to the people that need it.
100%. What do they say? You're best to coach, or you're best to teach the person you want to work. I love pouring into other people. That's why my self-development time and my paying my coaches, my life coaches, my business coaches is so important to me. Having a clear mental is because I want to keep giving back. Like I something that I heard, I can't remember where I heard it from. It was probably a podcast. I listen to podcasts every single day.
Me too.
But someone said that, you're not going to be, when you're in the casket, they're not going to talk about the shoes you wore, the car you drove, the cologne you wore, the watches you owned, right? The things that you did or the things that you did. They're going to talk about you as a character. Like, who were you as a character? Who were you as a person? Like, who were you, at your pure form, right? Did you do the good by people, right? Did they have positive to say about you? Did you bring enjoyment in life into other people? And I feel that we lose track on that, right? Because we have these social media, instant gratification type of mindset right now, and these designer things and these lavish things and all things I love. But at the end of the day, those are just a part of why I work, right? The main reason is that's a part of what things I own. But the reason why I work and I continue to build my brand the right way is because when I go, I want people to have nothing but positive to say about me. I want to be good, known as the person that, did right by people, right? And I don't want to be the person that was a jerk or a scumbag or a POS, whatever it is.
1000%.
Right?
Well, as an outsider looking in, I think you are already have built a beautiful legacy.
Love it. We're just getting started.
We know that this is literally just the beginning, which is the crazy part.
Yeah, that's also crazy.
That's like
for you
actually
too.
the crazy part. This really is just the beginning.
Well, we have a lot of growing to do, and still, and it's. I mean, life is always teaching us lessons, right? So when we look back in this podcast, there's gonna be so many things that you're probably like, I should have talked about this. We need to get you back on.
I'm already
right?
Because I
feel yeah. It's gonna go. I just want I'll just give you a heads up. You're gonna be like, I should talk about this. We're not done. And obviously, it's amazing story, and it's like we could probably sit here and talk a 5-hour podcast and still wouldn't touch a quarter of your thought process. But there's still so much more I want to know. I want to dive in because I'm even thinking right now on top of head, like just sitting you and Frankie here and just talking and kind of see this. And I would love to see that because I feel that like you girls could impact a lot more girls that I could. Right? At the end of the day, I've been told plenty of times I don't have a uterus. I tell my girl clients, yes, I do.
Girls tend to connect with girls a little bit.
100%. 100%. Oh, I get that. That's why having Frankie on my team is amazing because they have their own little chats and stuff like that. But I think it would be great to have you on here. But at the end of the day, you put in the work, and I think that out of anyone that I know, you have a voice. You should have a voice, and you should use it. You should speak up for talking to your future self, your old version of yourself, and that's people's current self.
Right.
One thing I like to do before we get off, is just kind of like send it off with some positive, something that you want to tell the listener, someone that maybe needs to hear it, something whatever it is.
Well, I think for anyone out there who is kind of struggling the way that we have in the past, I think just like the most important thing that I could like leave you with is just like the gentle reminder that you are so much more than the number on the scale, the number on your jean size. You are not defined by any number. And if you are wanting to make a change, fall in love with finding out how capable you are. Like, have fun with it. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself and don't try to do it fast. Be patient and show yourself grace every step of the way, because it's not an easy journey, and it takes a lot of self-love to continue to keep choosing something that is not easy every single day, but it does get easier and it becomes natural feeling, which I know sounds crazy. It might sound like it might never come natural to you, but it does. So just be patient, show yourself grace, and keep going.
Let's go. Look at that. What I got from that is don't wait for your weight loss journey to be over to love yourself.
Yeah, you got to get started
on
that, girl.
Yeah, you got to start loving. Now, that's what I always say. Like, if you think weight loss is going to make you love yourself, you got nothing coming, because, it's a whole self-development. It's a whole life change. It's you got to devote. This is a life change. This is a whole life change. So, you know what I mean? If you're listening to this and this spoke to you, I would love it. Absolutely love it if you would be able to share it. If you like, send a comment wherever you're listening to, on whatever platform. If you could like, if you comment. Remember, at the end of the day, these podcasts are for all of you to listen and to enjoy and to take something from it. And I'm going to do my best every single podcast to remember, so if I forget it, to always remind me. I always want to send you off with this. There's a lot of words said today. There's a lot of things talked about. There's a lot of pain points and struggles and wins and losses. And there's a lot to take in with these podcasts, right? It's a lot of the self-development talk, right? Also, let's not forget, we're talking to people that are 5 years in the game, right? Take one thing that really resonate with you, something that you could work on. You could work on yourself for the next, 60 days, 90 days, 100 days, the rest of your life, whatever you want to call it. I don't believe in do something for 60 days, you build a habit. I think it's full of shit. But take something and work on it. Take something that really resonated with you. It could be one sentence from this whole entire 40-something minute, whatever podcast, whatever it was. Just take that thing and work on it, right? Because at the end of the day, you need to master this stuff. And the only way to master is to start chipping away day by day, building your house, from the inside out, right?
I love that.
So get out there, win. Thank you for that. No, just one thing. Simplify. Take one thing. Like, yes, you got to hear my amazing voice and her amazing voice, of course, but take one thing and work on it, right? Welcome to Modify Your Life podcast. If you're new here, this is where we talk about transforming your life mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and get out there and win. We'll talk to you next time.
All this happened for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.